It's a welcome to a quick chat and interview that I'm having with Alex Kamel. Alex has come over as an intercompany transfer in 2020 from Air Marketing to Forrest Marketing Group. And I thought, having been here almost a year, it's a great opportunity to just chat to him, find out a bit about what the experience has been like, and how it all came to be. Just as some background, Alex worked for Air Marketing in the UK for around 2 years on the phones as one of their top dialers, and he's our first intercompany transfer. So I just wanted to ask him a couple of questions and see how it's all been. So, Alex, what made you decide to come to Australia to work, and how easy was it to make it happen?
Yeah, so for me, the big thing deciding why to come over was, the traveling aspect was huge for myself. I've always wanted to be able to do more traveling, and having the opportunity to work for a company in the UK who also has the sister company in Australia is an amazing opportunity. A big thing for me is having conversations with Owen as well, and his experiences of being over here. But it was also really, I wanted to widen my knowledge of sales and getting a little bit more life experience, I think was key for myself. There was hard parts and there was easy parts to coming over. The visa and all of the paperwork and all of the going backwards and forwards it was tricky. However, I was really lucky with the people that were supporting me as well. Lots of communication with a few of the guys over here. Owen obviously helped me back home. So I think there were hard parts and there were easy parts, and I think if I was saying to someone else, if it's worth it, it's hugely worth it to just go through all of that backwards and forwards on the visa side. So,
actually, it's interesting because Owen has been over here, so it must have been really good for you to get a feel for what Australia's like from somebody who's lived over here for 7-8 years. Right?
Yeah, definitely. It really helped me kind of get an idea of what to expect. There was always going to be new learnings, of course, but it really did give me an idea of what I was going to be coming up against, and making me feel a bit more comfortable with coming over here.
Yeah.
So it's been a really nice transition in my eyes of coming over from Air over to here, and having the communication piece between the guys, when I'm kind of deciding, where to live and, where to stay and all of these pieces. But it's been a really smooth process in my eyes.
And because you're moving to the other side of the world, which is a big leap, actually.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to other people? Do you think it would be something you'd say, yeah, go and do it?
Yes, yeah, definitely. Look, I couldn't recommend it enough. If you've got the opportunity to go and do so, as I said to begin with, the life experience for myself has really helped teach me a lot along the way. So it's helped me grow, and it's helped, really uncover a few sides that maybe I wasn't expect to learn on the journey as well. But yeah, look, in terms of recommendation, 100% to do it if you've got the opportunity. I think it's worth the small headaches of the paperwork and the backwards and forwards to go and see what you can achieve and see what you can bring to both companies and grow yourself and the company at the same time.
Great. So you've been here through a pretty troubled year. You arrived only a few weeks before we went into lockdown and the pandemic hit. But looking back, has the trip been a valuable one for you so far?
Yeah, and it's a really great question, and so many people have kind of asked me that from back home as well, saying, would it have been better to go a year before, a year after? And of course, in terms of what I was expecting, it's been a little bit different. However, it's challenged me a lot more, which has been interesting and exciting, and I think I've become a strong member of the team because of it, because I've been faced with different challenges that probably ordinary employees wouldn't usually have to face when traveling over to the other side of the world. But it's been a tricky year, of course, with everything that's been going on, but I think it's helped me grow, especially. It really has, and being valuable 100%. I've still had the exposure that I was looking for, if not more. The one side for me was getting that exposure, getting the experience, and I would say that I've been able to do that and really get, we went through those couple of months, which was a tricky time, but as a team, we were all able to kind of work together and get through it. So yeah, extremely valuable for myself.
Yeah. I suppose whilst it's been a difficult year, it's thrown up some great opportunities for you, because you were really coming here expecting to be on the phone for most of the time, and you sat in a number of different things.
Yeah, a few different roles. Yeah, and that was, you know, it was really great to be able to get the exposure of being on the phones and also getting involved with other tasks as well. So in terms of going through that difficult period, I think, yeah, I was able to experience being on the phones like the rest of the team and what so many other people are doing, but I was also able to get that extended exposure, as you say. So yeah, it's good to see both sides.
So having been here a year, are there any differences between Air and the UK versus FMG and Australia? And if so, what have you noticed?
Yeah, to be honest, it was something that I was, you know, the whole time traveling over here, I was thinking about, okay, so what am I going to notice? What am I going to see? You know, I've done quite a bit of time on the phones, and as you said, I've had some experience over here on the phones. But for me, I think one of the amazing things is that there isn't a huge amount of difference, which, you know, for people really thinking about doing that intercompany exchange is a really big point, and could put some people off if they are nervous about what they, you know, might be tackling. But for myself, there hasn't been a huge difference in change. There's you know, there's certain metrics and certain measures that may vary and change a little bit in terms of the market, but overall, there's nothing that stands out for myself that, you know, would make me think otherwise about deciding to come again, or, you know, expressing to other people why they should come. So yeah, I think it's continued to give me the experience, continued to help me with sales and the idea of the company focus. So yeah, for me, there's not the biggest difference.
Yeah, I think it's good to hear, because Owen and I kind of developed a lot of systems in FMG, and they've been transported and changed slightly, I think, in Air. But it's good to hear that actually, when you look at the two organisations, we're doing things very similarly.
Yes.
Which means anybody coming from one company to the other will only have to adjust for climate and those sorts of things.
Definitely adjust for the climate. Yeah, that was definitely one of them. But that's a really great point, because when I was with Air, I was so used to, you know, the system, the process, the theory behind it. And when I jumped over to here, it was kind of keep going, you know, keep going. There was other sides to learn, of course, but it was a lot the same, which is great.
So, what has allowed you to be so successful over here, do you think?
So I think I've always had the idea that I want to continue to grow, you know, personally grow, and I want to challenge myself every day, every week, every month, you know, as most people do. But I really do want to focus on how my involvement to a company, you know, affects that company. So I'm always trying to challenge myself, I think is a big thing for myself. And a big part of this comes down to the team that you work with. You know, there's only so much success you can get by yourself if you don't have a good team to support you with that. I think it has been a successful year. You know, as you said, I've been in a lot of different roles and had exposure to different sides. But without the team and the support, you know, that's really what helps me and backs up when I'm coming up with different ideas, when I'm suggesting different ideas, and really having that reassurance that you've got people behind you that want to drive it as well, which is really great. And the thing for me is that I just want to continue adding value to the company, for both Air and for FMG.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you've been in a number of different roles this year. You've been an agent on the phones, you've been involved in recruitment, also some staff training when we were in lockdown, and then now in an account management role. Is that something that you expected to happen?
No, no, it wasn't. I wasn't expecting it to all come out like this. I think one thing that I've always had in my mind is that I wanted to work to be an account manager. You know, ever since kind of joining Air, I've always wanted to get to that level, and now coming over here, you guys have really helped me kind of uncover what I wanted to do even further, and given me the tools to get there. So giving me that exposure on the phone, giving me those further tasks to help with the company. So no, I was not expecting to get there as we have, but yeah, look, I'm extremely grateful to get there at the same time.
And you're going to be here for about another 12 or so months.
Yes.
What are your plans for that? So you've had a very tumultuous year this year. Any plans for next year?
Look, continue on. I'm always thinking about work and continuing on, but now that I've come into the role over the last couple of months, is really developing myself and making sure that I secure what I'm doing and really focus on that. I think, as I've said, the team are great. They're going to continue to keep building myself, and that's what I'm working towards as well. So I really want to keep going down the path of where I'm going, and I can see the next 12 months hopefully being successful as it has been.
And hopefully getting to travel around Australia a bit.
That would be lovely if I was able to do a bit of travelling, but yeah, it will come.
Yeah, true.
So.
And if you were to give advice to somebody else who was thinking about coming out on an intercompany transfer, or maybe going from Australia to the UK, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, look, I think the way that I look at it is, if you're as interested as I was in that travel opportunity, as that learning opportunity that I've been able to have that exposure to, then go for it. You really just need to, it is a big dive, especially going from one side of the world to the other. It is a big dive, but what I'm gaining from it is only going to help me more and more throughout life, I believe anyway. So if you are considering it, to myself, speak to your team, speak to your colleagues, your friends, get some advice. There's always going to be people in those other countries as well. If you can reach out to them, that's what's been great for me, is having friends over here as well, kind of talking it through. How did you find the process? And yeah, just I think don't be scared to kind of dive into it. It's a way to look at it. Yeah, but always ask for some support at the same time, which is good.
Yeah. Look, thank you very much. It's been a great year. From my perspective, I've really enjoyed seeing your development and how much you bring to the role, how much you put in. I'm really looking forward to the next 12 months.
Yes.
With you again.
Yeah, as am I. So yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Pleasure.